Hello everyone, my name is Mirko and welcome back to another Apex Legends tips video. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some key tips on how to abuse the Peacekeeper and how to use it in the correct way. Now the Peacekeeper is one of those weapons where you need to really know how to use it. It's not one of them weapons anyone can usually pick up and do well with. You need to know how to use it correctly. I really don't know why more people aren't using this weapon. This was the most used weapon within the first 2 weeks of launch. But since then, a lot of people have changed this over to the either shotgun or just an R99 SMG because they are too worried about missing too many shots with this weapon. But I can guarantee you guys, if you do land your shots, this is the most deadliest weapon in the game up close. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the way in which the gun pellets land onto the target. So as you guys can see, they land almost in like a star position. They're always going to land in this position, but the main thing I want to get out of this is that even if you hip fire from the same distance, they're still going to land in the exact same position. So no matter if you're hip firing or aiming down sights, you're still going to get the same bullet spread. So this is why you should definitely hip fire with this weapon. I'm going to speak a little bit about hip firing later on in the video. I'm going to show you guys as well how to practice hip firing with this thing so you always land your shots onto your opponents. But the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is actually the range drop off, because there is absolutely no range drop off to this weapon as with most weapons in Apex Legends, which means you can deal over 90 damage almost at medium range if you do land your shot on target. But just bear in mind, the more you are shooting from distance, the more you're going to get an increased spread of the bullets. So that stars formation that you saw earlier will be more increased, which means it's going to be harder to put all of them shots onto your opponents. But as you can see, even at this distance, we're hitting 110 base damage without any headshots at all, which is just absolutely beyond me, and I really do not understand why more people are not picking up this weapon as a priority. But anyways, let's go into the pellet damage. So as you can see, there is 10 damage for each pellet you see in that star spread. So every time you hit a target, you will see the gunfire spread appear on your screen. Now this is really good because this actually shows how many of them pellets have actually hit the target, and it will show you which ones are actually missing from that star formation. So let's speak about hip firing, because hip firing is the most important thing you need to do with this weapon. So first of all, let's speak about why hip firing is beneficial. So the first reason why hip firing is beneficial in this game is because you maintain your field of view. Maintaining your field of view is really important, especially up close. And the second main reason why hip firing is really beneficial is because you can keep full control on your character's movement, which makes it really easier to strafe a lot faster and also move around faster in them engagements. Now, how do you improve your hip fire accuracy to guarantee that first shot accuracy that we know is important? Well, a lot of this comes down to sensitivity, and I'm going to show you guys the perfect drill in order to find out if your hip fire accuracy is on point, and it's also a good way to test your sensitivity to see if it needs increasing or decreasing slightly. So what you want to do is you want to go into training, you want to pick up the Peacekeeper, and then you want to go to the target board. Now what you want to do is you want to run into a straight line, and you want to aim at a specific target board in each section. It could be the first one or it could be the last one. So what you want to do is you want to run in a complete straight line, and then you want to turn around and you want to try and snap onto that target. And you want to keep doing this a few times till you get a good understanding on whether or not your hip fire accuracy is at a good standard. And if you feel like you're over aiming, so you're aiming past the target, you'll be able to tell with them indicators that pop up every time you land a shot. Now I'm just going to say, you're not going to land every single shot onto the opponent, but you want to make sure that you're covering half of that star at least. But really, you want to make sure you're landing about 80% of them pellets onto the target. If you do this about 10 to 15 minutes before a game, then it will really help you warm up and improve your accuracy. And as I said earlier, this is going to help you land them first crucial shots you need to put into your opponent. Now I'm sure most of you guys are aware that the Peacekeeper has animation in between shots. Now this animation can cause some people to actually die. Now we spoke about first shot accuracy. If you miss that first crucial shot, you will most probably go down unless that second shot manages to down the opponent, which will have to be a headshot, and you're also going to have to hope that the opponent hasn't got max health. But there is one counter to this, and that is cover. It's the shoot cover technique that I use with weapons like the Peacekeeper, which has animation during shots, and you definitely need to use this if you are picking up the Peacekeeper. So the shoot cover technique is basically going into cover whilst that animation is happening, or even when you're reloading a standard weapon. Basically, when you're unable to shoot your opponent, you go into cover, and then when your gun is ready, you then come out and engage with the opponent. So the only time the opponent actually sees you is when you're ready to shoot at them, which is hugely beneficial to you, and it's a really big problem the opponent has to deal with. So just to elaborate on this a little bit more, once you have taken that first shot, you want to be running into cover straight away, even if you've landed all of your shots into the opponent. Even if the opponent is not landing any shots onto you, you always want to run to cover the second you have pressed that shoot button, and then once your animation is done, you want to pop back out again, and you can get quite in a fluent motion when you're doing this, and you'll surprise yourselves on how easily you will adjust to using this technique. This isn't a technique you should use once in a while. This is a technique you should use every time you are using the Peacekeeper. It is absolutely crucial you use this method when there's cover around you. But what if there isn't any cover? What if you have no cover to use this technique? Well, this is where the second option comes into play. Now, the second method is actually used quite a lot by pro players. Now, what they do is they take the first shot, whether it has connected to the opponent or not, they then swap weapon immediately after that first shot, and it's then really advantageous, especially if you've landed that first shot. Once you have swapped weapons to your fully auto weapon, it will only take about 3 or 4 bullets if you're using an R301 or a Spitfire, and it basically leaves the opponent no chance at all. And it's actually much more faster for you to swap your weapons and start shooting than wait for the animation to happen on your Peacekeeper. Now, when you are using the Peacekeeper, you want to make sure that you're strafing and you're taking full advantage of that Hipfire strafe, because you've got full control over your movement, which gives you an increased chance to someone that's possibly aiming down at you, and you really want to take advantage of that. Be sure you're moving left and right and creating a really hard target for the enemies. I can assure you guys that if you do use all of these tips I've mentioned in this video, you will become a master at using the Peacekeeper. And what's great about the Peacekeeper is that you have to know how to use it in order for it to go your way, and not any normal person could just pick it up off the ground and do well with it. So that's why you're going to have an advantage against someone who doesn't actually know how to use it to its full potential. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up here, guys. If you have learned something new and you did enjoy this video, be sure you're liking it down below, and be sure you're commenting as well if you want a chance of your comment to be featured in my next Apex video. So thank you all for watching this video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch all of you guys out in another Apex Legends video.